Sulong Carrot debuted on the 27th of June 2019 as one of the most anticipated Sugo-Fest exclusives. With the anime episode airing recently, everyone wanted the opportunity to get this character on their accounts. This Sugo-Fest batch contained characters that made an appearance at Big Mom's Tea Party, which includes Big Mom Pirates Charlotte Galette, Big Mom Pirates Charlotte Bavarois, the Minister of Cream Charlotte Opera, as well as Cypher Pole Aegis 0 Stussy. And the Sugo-Fest exclusive character of the batch featured a unique mechanic of a turn countdown timer within the captain ability. Whilst within this counter, her captain ability allowed your normal attacks to bypass enemy defensive effects, along with a special that granted further cooldown reduction on top of providing an acceptable slot boosting effect. Introducing Wondrous White Sulong Carrot. In this series, we'll be traveling back in time to experience some of the older Sugo-Fest exclusive characters in their prime, aiming to show just what it was like to use these characters on their debut. I hope you enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's enter the Legends of OPTC. Thank you very much for checking out yet another episode of the Legends of OPTC. So it's crazy because it's been like 5 months since the latest episode of this series, and decided, you know, we might as well get back into the swing of things. So here we are with Legend Carrot. The previous episode to this was with Legend Jack, and you know, everyone was looking forward to Legend Carrot because everyone on Global saw what she was doing on Japan. Everyone wanted to get her, and there was huge controversy regarding her Sugo-Fest, where at that point in time, like, the chance to pull her was like 0.07, and it was just way too hard to get. Your boy luckily ended up pulling her on her debut. It was absolutely wild. But in today's video, we're going to talk about her batch, and we're going to use her in some content. Really excited to use her today. So the first rare recruit in her batch is going to be Charlotte Galette. Charlotte Galette still sees some niche usages today: Int, Slasher, and Cerebral, and she has the special that delays all enemies by 1 turn, reduces one selected character's cooldown by 2 turns, and then if you have a quick or Int captain, then you get a 3x chainlock for 1 turn. Also having the ability to resist special reverse. It's like the main reason why she sees play. I believe, yeah, she does get fear resistance with her third potential ability with expansion, so that's one of the main reasons why people will still sometimes use this character. Obviously, captain ability doesn't matter too much, but the main component of getting cooldown to a unit, as well as providing a chain lock, are the 2 best components of this unit. The next rare recruit being Charlotte Bavarois, definitely one of the weakest rare recruits that we've seen for a long time. Doesn't really provide that much. He's a Psi fighter shooter with a special ability that does 8 random hits of typeless damage to random targets. All orbs in the left side of your crew are changed into matching, but then if your captain's slot is a quick Psi int or tandem slot, your shooters receive 1.75 times attack for 3 turns. Just a very awkward unit that doesn't work with Carrot at all. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Very, very weird unit. Although Charlotte Bavarois doesn't really have that much, you know, representation in the game, so a new version of this unit would actually be pretty cool. And then we get Charlotte Opera, who was probably the highlight of this batch. Most people wanted to get this guy out of this rare recruit batch. So he is a Psi fighter striker, and his special ability, 80 times his attack and typeless damage to all enemies. And then if your crew has an orb buff, or an orb boost, when you launch the special, you get a color affinity boost to fighter, slasher, striker, shooter, and cerebral by 1.75 for 1 turn. But then if you don't have an orb boost, then he gives those same classes a 1.75 orb boost for 1 turn. Also, making Psi slots beneficial to fighters was very good. And the other really cool thing, of course, with his potential ability is he does have double special activation. So having the ability to launch this guy's special twice in the same turn to get 1.75 affinity and orb boosts in the same turn is very strong. But obviously people will actually use this guy currently on treasure maps just because of the wave clearing. You can just spam his special twice, wave clear the first 2 stages, so long as you can get his cooldown ready to go. 10 turn cooldown is pretty good for what it does too with expansion. So a lot of people wanted Opera. And then we get to Stussy, and Stussy is a very interesting unit too. Quick shooter cerebral, and her special ability does 50 times her attack and quick damage only to a single target. It randomizes non-matching slots, and then boost the attack of those same classes, fighter, slasher, striker, shooter, cerebral, by 1.5 for 1 turn. However, if her special is used again in the same turn, then it boosts the attack of those same characters by 2.25 for 1 turn. So obviously this character is very focused around, you know, reducing cooldown very quickly, use the special twice, and then you get big benefits for doing that. And she does have the crewmate ability saying that anytime another special is used, reduce her own cooldown by 1. Reducing blindness is also kind of nice. And then with limit break, going down to a 6-turn cooldown was pretty acceptable. It was honestly pretty good. And then unfortunately her potential abilities really weren't that good, but she did eventually get double special launch, which makes her obviously a lot better. But for the longest time, like, this is a relatively recent addition, for the longest time she didn't have that, which really made her like essentially kind of useless. Like, you could definitely use her in some very niche circumstances, but a lot of the time you just use her to get an attack boost and changing your slots around. That's basically it. But now we get to Carrot, and this unit, as I said, was one of the most anticipated legend releases in One Piece Treasure Cruise. She's so good. So a quick fighter slasher, and her captain ability would reduce the cooldowns of all characters by 2 turns at the start of the fight. Now obviously in today's current day and age, cooldown reduction is essentially on every captain, but you know, back when this first came out, there weren't many characters in the game that gave you 2 turns of cooldown at the start. This was huge for the community at the time. And then it says, for the first 12 turns at the start of the fight, boost the attack of fighter, slasher, striker, shooter, and cerebral by 2x, and then boost the chances of getting matching slots, and attacks will ignore damage reducing barriers and buffs. Essentially, all of your normal attacks will bypass all defensive effects. Very strong. But then after those 12 turns have passed, then it's just going to boost the attack of those characters by 2.75. So this is what is weird with the wording on the database, is essentially if you have a character that has both of these classes, then you get a 2 times boost for both class. So it essentially is a 4 times attack boost. But after the 12 turns, it's just a 2.75 flat no matter what for those units. So it obviously isn't as good, because you want to make sure for the first 12 turns you clear as fast as possible. You have the 4 times attack boost so long as you have those 2 classes on each individual unit, and you get more matching slots, and everything bypasses all defensive effects. Very fast, very potent, extremely aggressive. Very good captain ability at the time. Then she had her special ability, which further reduced the cooldowns of the same classes by 2 turns, and then gives an orb boost to those classes by 2 times for 1 turn. Quick recovery and tandem slots will be beneficial for everyone for 1 turn, and then if this character is a sailor, then they get switched into the captain position for 1 turn. Essentially, when this character came out, you would never really use Carrot that much as a sub anyway, because if you weren't using Carrot as a captain, your cooldowns were pretty harsh, and you had to do quite a lot of stall to get your specials ready to go. So being able to, you know, hypothetically on a boss stage use Carrot special, she becomes the captain. But the thing is this 12-turn countdown still counts if she is the crewmate. So it means a lot of the time you'd use her special to become the captain, and you just get the worst captain ability out of it. However, if you have another team that is really fast, you can still use it to abuse the 4 times boost with the ability to bypass defensive effects. So this is what Carrot was really aimed to do. Of course, she got her super evolution and her level limit break, and she's definitely a lot stronger because you don't have the really harsh class requirement anymore. But nonetheless, when this character came out, it was one of the best legends in the game, and hopefully we can showcase that to you guys today. So we're bringing back the roulette wheel. We have 3 different pieces of content to showcase today. We've either got Stampede Sabo, we've got Stampede Law, or we have Colosseum Magellan. So let's go ahead and spin that wheel, and let's see what we're going to be using Carrot against today. Really excited to just use her in general, so let's see what it's going to be. And it is going to be the Stampede Sabo, which I'd say is probably the second hardest of these. I think Colosseum Law is definitely the most difficult. Stampede Sabo, alright, let's go ahead and build the team and see what we can do. Oh! Come on! Yes! No way! You're gonna be kidding me! No way! Oh my god! Holy! So worth it! So worth it! Yes! Yes! Oh! Alright, so we're now in game with Legend Carrot, and this is the team that we're going to attempt to beat it with today. So, Stampede Sabo's an interesting one because he actually has a really weird shield on the final boss stage, and we're not really going to have type advantage here. So we're really just trying to apply raw damage towards Sabo, and hopefully it's enough to get the knockout. So we've got some pretty interesting units on the team, and they are going to help us out, of course, but of course, you know, Legend Carrot, you know, is such a powerful unit, especially on release. This is my current one with level limit break 5, of course. You know, the 6-star version doesn't get any buffs from their level limit break, so you don't need to worry about that. My one does have additional cotton candies though, so you know, there is that. You know, it's not exactly going to be the exact same, but as for the rest of the crewmates, of course, everything is relatively the same in terms of when it came out. We've got limit break plus on Pudding and limit break plus on Law, which weren't available back when Clash Sabo first came out. Nonetheless though, this is a really good showing of how an old school Carrot team would be able to absolutely decimate a clash. Alright, so now we are here, Clash Sabo the Revolutionary. The Stampede event was a lot of fun, you know, when it first came out here on Treasure Cruise, and you can see that as soon as Carrot starts the quest, we get this really cool special animation of Carrot turning into the Sulong form, and this is starting the 12-turn cooldown. So as we said, you know, you can see right at her character icon, there is going to be a 12-turn cooldown, and it does unfortunately count preemptive attacks, which means that we have to get through the content as fast as we possibly can to ensure that that cooldown effect does not dissipate, because once that goes down to 0, Carrot's cooldown, Carrot's effect is going to wear off. She goes down to her normal form, and we lose the ability to bypass defensive effects, and we get a much lowered attack multiplier, and also lose the opportunity to land on more matching slots, obviously, which is not good. Alright, so starting us off, you can just have a look at our cooldowns. Like, everything is so close to being maxed, it's ridiculous. So by the time we reach the boss stage, it's not going to be a problem. We're going to go ahead and use Law here, because Law will be ready by the time we need him again on the final stage, because he naturally does have quite a low cooldown. But this is going to enable us to get more matching slots here on the first turn, as well as provide a chain boosting effect, just to allow us to kill this stage a lot easier. So, without further ado, let's see how much damage we're able to do here. These guys are pretty tanky, actually. As long as we get those matching slots, we're going to be okay. Bing bong, easy. Stage 2. So we're just going to start flying through these stages now, and you can see with double Carrot, we're landing on a lot of matching slots, which is one of the massive benefits of using this character. So we want to try and kill everything as we move along here. We want to try and use these strength units against the dex units, and then everyone else against that, so that should be okay. Good. Be good if we could hit some perfects. Good. And Pudding actually keeps a matching slot on herself for every time we hit a perfect with her, which is good to see. Unfortunately, we didn't land on full matching slots here, but that should be okay. And we do have the Corazon support, of course, to remove that despair that is inflicted to us here. So, ideally, we want to use the quick units against the strength units at the top. So I think we're going to start from the top to ensure we get a knockout, and then boosting our chain along the way to get some kills. So let's try that. Nope, we didn't get a knockout in one turn, which is not good. I don't think that's going to be a problem though, because Carrot does already have a lot. Like, she's still got 7 turns on her countdown clock, so that honestly shouldn't be that big of an issue here. Let's just move on. Hopefully get some more matching slots would be nice. Awesome. And then we reach stage 4, so this is the mini-boss stage, which just has more generic mobs. And what do these guys do? Yeah, the paralysis, that's right, which is exactly why we have Pudding. So Pudding is able to remove that paralysis for us, but she has another effect where it actually changes all slots on the crew to whatever slot that Pudding currently has. So obviously we see that she has a quick slot, which means all of our team receives that. Now obviously this is quite an issue because we have all of these strength units with non-matching slots. However, the really cool thing that we can do here is we can use the Carrot special ability, which of course gives cooldown, gives the orb boost, but it also makes quick slots beneficial to the crew. So it means that those matching slots, or the quick slots that we get from Pudding, are now going to be matching slots, which is perfect. And we also have that orb boosting effect, so now we can use our strength units to kill the dex units, and then hopefully our quick units should be able to kill those psi units. So let's go. Boom, perfect. All right, and now we've already made it to the final boss stage. Carrot does have, she will have a 3-turn cooldown left on her captain ability, so we're still good in terms of damage and in terms of going through defensive effects, which is nice. Law, unfortunately, doesn't have a matching slot, but I don't think it should be an issue. You see, we do get inflicted with special reverse. Lucy and Law both deal with that, which is fantastic. And he does have this shield buff, so he reduces damage taken from int characters. So even if you bring int characters onto the team, they don't even do that much damage anyway. Like, I believe it's still counted as neutral damage, like they take half damage. So let's go ahead and use the Lucy special. So Lucy, of course, gives us an attack boost to our Strength X quick, and that's going to be fantastic because we're not going to kill Sabo in 1 turn. We're actually going to kill him over 2 turns. We're going to use the Law special as well, which is going to give us a chain multiplier boost, and then in the following turn after that, we should be good to get the full knockout against Sabo. So now we have a full board of slots, which is fantastic. We'll hit as many perfects as possible so that we get the attack boost in the following turn, and let's see how we go. Easy. Okay, so we're going to get a pretty swift victory here. So Sabo does activate his special, and I believe we will get given a full board of average slots, which we are going to change into what we are going to be counting as matching. We are inflicted with burn as well, but that's not really that big of a deal if you end up killing the boss anyway. So we're going to use Katakuri, because Katakuri is going to change all type slots into matching for us, which is fantastic. And then we can go ahead and use the Carrot special, which is going to give us an orb boost, so we'll have an attack boost. We're going to have an orb boost, which is going to be great. Unfortunately, the conditional boost from Katakuri isn't going to be activated. That's not really that big of an issue anyways, but the fact that we have the attack boost and the orb boost now should be enough to get the knockout, so let's bring it home. Boom, and there it is. We got the knockout versus Sabo with Legend Carrot. So it's such a fun unit, and that's just one example of ways that people would utilize Legend Carrot to get the knockout on enemies very, very quickly. Not having to stall, go through the content very easily, don't have to worry about Rainbow Shield, Threshold, barriers, just bypass it all, get the dub, and move on. It's just as simple as that. So that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching the video today. Now, looking forward into the next episode is a character we're going to be covering is a really fun one of my personal favorite legends to use, Sanji and Judge. So a very, very fun time as they start introducing a really powerful set of powerhouse characters. So it's going to be a lot of fun to use them. Hopefully you enjoyed this video though, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.